Guys, the time has finally come. I found someone that climbed to G1 in RTA with Elowin the Water Elven Ranger. So if you guys don't know, maybe you're new to the channel or whatever, you don't watch the other videos, Elowin is one of my favorite 3 stars in the entire game. I absolutely love him. I think he's basically a budget Varad. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's overpowered for a 3-star. And apparently I'm not the only one that thinks that because, like I said, someone climbed to G1 in RTA using Elowin. Let's take a brief recap of what he does. He's got a multi-hit first skill. Chance to decrease the target's attack bar by 15%. Then he's got a second skill. This stuns. The target's stunned by your attack. You instantly gain another turn. So he turn cycles by himself, which is pretty nasty with violent runes, right? Because then he resets his turn counter, his violent counter. Then he's got the skill 3. Activates a trap, damaging all enemies and decreasing their attack bar by 75% each. Stuns the enemies who have less than 30% attack bar for 1 turn. It's going to stun most of them because they got their attack bar reduced, right? So I think he's a fantastic unit. He's very similar, like he turn cycles with this, which gives him more access even to this entrap. He's basically a budget, he's like a 3-star version of like Hathor and Varad and things like that, right? So we're going to take a look at some of his matches. I just think that it's fantastic. I'm so excited that someone actually climbed the Guardian with Elowin. First match, first pick Tyrant. So he's going for, and he's got Tyrant, he's got 2 speed leads, right? He's got the Tyrant Chiwu, and then he also has the 2 strippers. He's got the Chiwu does strip, and Celia, the Fire Fairy, 2A Fire Fairy does a strip as well. So he's going for the fast, aggressive outspeed. And he gets a turn with the Dark on Amusha. He doesn't kill everything. He gets the Entrap, which is going to decrease attack gauge on everything. Stuns everything except for the Kaki. And then he comes in, he decreases attack gauge. Anything that's slowed, Tyrant's going to decrease attack gauge with skill 2. I think most people know that, but just in case you don't know that. Decrease attack gauge for the Dark on Amusha. So the decreased attack gauge on the Dark on Amusha is actually pretty important. I felt like he should have gone for the skill 2 on the Dark on Amusha, actually. But the decreased attack gauge on the Dark Onimusha is important because he can't be... He will just cleanse himself at the beginning of the turn, then get extra damage. So, yeah, it's important to keep the Dark Onimusha since you can't CC him quite like everything else. He gets CC'd for a bit, but then he like I said, he just cleanses it off. It's important to just try to decrease attack gauge as much as possible or just straight away kill him. Next match, this one is actually against another streamer. So if you guys haven't seen or are not familiar, go check out Daniel on Twitch. I'll leave his Twitch link in the description as well. But he bans out the speed lead, so there's nothing really to contest speed here on one side. So he's definitely going to outspeed. He's going to strip. He's going to attack gauge. Well, he didn't strip everything, so he goes for the second strip with the Chiwu. Now he goes for Entrap, which is definitely going to stun well, it did not stun the Fire Lich. Fire Lich doesn't get a turn though. He finally gets a turn. He goes for the AoE. He didn't stun anything. So he goes for the skill 2 on the Fire Lich. A lot of people like to use the Chiwus against the Fire Lich. I kind of figured he was going to go for just the kill on the Jack-o'-lantern just to stop him from doing that, right? So I would have personally gone for the kill on the Jack-o'-lantern first, but that's just the difference in play styles, right? Because the Jack-o'-lantern actually can do some decent damage, and he does have the passive, which can be kind of annoying, as we saw with the shield. But, yep, so far, so good. Nothing really resisted. He got the control with everything. I think maybe Daniel wasn't expecting to see, and Elowin possibly didn't even know what he did. Next match, first pick Kaki into Tyron and a Fire Bison. So 2 very aggressive control units. The Diana is the thing that I really want to see the least on the opponent's side. Diana is very, very scary here. But he goes for the he's got 2 control units. So if I saw, like, for example, the Tyrant and the Fire and Bison being picked first, I might consider, if I had it runed up, I might consider picking something like the Water Lich is pretty strong into that, right? Because there's a lot of control, and then even the Fire Bison skill 2 is going to decrease attack age, but based on the Water Lich's passive, I got so excited, I forgot what I was saying. Based on the Water Lich's passive, Water Lich is also going to increase his attack age as well. So, and if he's on Revenge, he can counter. And also stack him. It stacks the Water Lich's stats. So, yeah, just going for control, 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 and that's GG. Tyron first pick, as he has been doing. Opponent is going to pick a fast, aggressive, turn cycle, cleave kind of thing. Okay, so he's going for the Baz, the Jameer, Tableau, Kali, and the Taru, the Imp. Okay, so who takes turn 1? So he tries to stun. He tries to stun because he knew that was going to take turn 1, but he did not have any immunity on that. So if he just went in with a Ganymede, that would have completely destroyed that entire comp, because just decreased attack gauge on everything. Ganymede's got 113 base speed, right? So just absolutely demolishes, but doesn't kill everything, right? So we got the Psycho Crusher here, speed breaks, lots of damage, squishy nuker units, and now that's just GG. Also additional damage is very strong on Acelia since she has all those multi-hits. She's got multi-hit skill 1, skill 2, and a big AoE multi-hit on skill 3. Very similar to how Okeanos is strong with additional damage artifacts. All of those little hits are going to chip away so much extra additional damage that we actually could see the Fire Fairy doing more damage than even she did here with better additional damage artifacts. He's opted to kind of change it around this time. He goes for a Wind Art Master, Elowin for the last pick as well. So he's not using the Fire Bison in here, right? So let's see. Did he rune that Art Master up to do? He's got the strip, not strips on everyone, not strips on Diana, which is very dangerous for this Elowin. Let's see if they get the strip. And they didn't even go for the strip. Okay, so they just went for, and now he cuts. And now Diana's in big trouble because Diana's just going to get attack gauge reduced and everything. And then Elowin's just going to come in and make sure whatever's not already stunned is completely not stunned still. Okay. Well, I mean, at least he got the Diana down. But, okay, so he's on Despair. It's nice to see. I like this guy. I like this guy's playstyle. Look at this. He's got Despair on the Wind Art Master, which I think is an underrated build. He has a strip as well. So if you have that strip, you strip into a Glancing and potentially Despair as well. He's got 2 AoEs. I think I used the Wind Art Master in regular arena on Despair. And I think that's a pretty solid build for him. I think that's kind of an underrated build, is him on Despair. And now we just see if Kinky solos everything. But there's enough stuns on Zigbear's team that it should be fine, right? Decreased attack gauge and stun and additional damage and artifacts. So he should be perfectly fine. But I do like the Wind Art Master. Everyone goes for Violent because that's the thing to do. You have to put it on Violent Will. But I think Swift is a nice, is potentially pretty nice. Strip into a Glancing hit for the strip on the Wind for turn 1 on Wind Art Master if he's on Swift, or also Despair. He's got 2 AoEs, one of them strips. I think both are fantastic options for the Wind Art Master that are kind of underrated because everyone just thinks about like violent. First pick Cocky into a Tyrant and Fire and Bison, so he opts for not. He picks a lot of fire into that. He opts for not the Wind Art Master this time. Elowin makes it through the draft. Elowin always makes it through the draft. If you play with Elowin, you can guarantee that he's always going to make it through the draft. So Fran gets resisted. He goes in for the AoE decrease attack gauge, stuns everyone. And let's see if he can do all this damage before. I mean, he is doing decent enough damage. You know that Fire Bison's a fine enough counter for the Juno. Between the Fire Bison, the attack gauge reduction from the Elowin, and the additional damage from the Fire Fairy artifacts, that should have been perfectly fine to take care of Juno before, without Juno really being too much of an issue, because the Fire Bison absorbs attack gauge with skill 2, and then decreases it with skill 3 as well. So that's really not too much of a problem. And another easy win. Next match against a G3 player. So let's see how he fares against G3. I mean, they're really only like 140 points difference, actually, G1, G3. It's 20-star Special League, by the way, if you guys are watching this in the future. Like way after I actually recorded and posted, it is 20-star Special League. That's why Elowin is so strong here, because he's only 3 stars worth of. He brings a lot of value for only 3 stars. So everything gets stunned. It's weird that we're seeing this from the other side. I'm not entirely sure why we're seeing this from the other side. But yeah, everything gets stunned, and he bans the Water Lich, right? So we're talking about the Water Lich, how Water Lich will increase attack gauge and he cannot be CC'd. So he actually does ban the Water Lich because that is such a dangerous unit against his specific comp, right? I mean, maybe not such a dangerous, but it is kind of dangerous, right? Between that and also the Diana is very dangerous against Elowin. I like how the Elowin has the Guardian wings. I think Elowin deserves the Guardian Wings. Took a little bit of damage there. And he's going for the Elowin first. He's like, no, 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 no. I don't want to deal with this Elowin anymore. So also additional damage is kind of nice with Elowin. You've got the multi-hit skill 1. So additional damage is not bad in artifacts for that. So he's got the provoke there. He's got the entrap. Everything decreases attack age. He did not get the stun on Molong though. But I think this is basically game at this point. I mean, it's 4v2 and the 2 on their side are really not gonna. Yeah, that's about GG. All those additional turns. Remember, I told you he turn cycles. He gets a guaranteed extra turn if he stuns with skill 2. So if he procs before that into his skill 2, he gets a stun with skill 2. He gets an additional turn. Then he can do something else. And then he can get another violent proc after that. So it's kind of like nasty with that. In the same way that the Dice Magicians can potentially be super nasty with violent and reset their turn counters. The Brownie Magicians can be violent with that. Did I say Brownie Magicians twice? No, Dice Magicians and Brownie Magicians. So, yeah, some units are just potentially can be pretty nasty with violent runes and resetting their violent counters here. Next match, opponent picks the Water Ryu first. So let's see how he I feel like he's going to ban that Water Ryu. I feel like he's going to ban the Water Ryu. Yeah, that's what I would have banned here. The same comp. He's got a speed lead. He's got a strip. He's got attack age reduction. So, oh, and he was definitely much faster. Although he did get, there we go, entrap. He's going to cleanse. He's going to cleanse with that Konamiya. But there's so much attack age reduction anyway that they're not like getting it. Oh, never mind. Never mind. They come back. He gets an additional turn. So that Konamiya was just on bounce. So gets the stunts there. He can't do anything gets an additional turn as well. I was gonna say, can't do anything crazy, but additional turns happen, right? So he's going after the Elowin. He knows that the Elowin is dangerous. Additional turn to, oh, this is nasty. Look at that comeback though. Additional turn into death. So let's see if this is gonna be a Tyrant win now, or this is gonna be a Tyrant comeback. Never mind, it's not gonna be a Tyrant comeback. I thought it was gonna be a Tyrant comeback. Ooh, this is dangerous. Enough additional damage to kill things. I feel like at this point, Tyrant's just going for the slow so that he could decrease attack age, and that's GG. Against another G3 player. Let's see. They go for basically the same strategy. They go 2 howls. Okay, one of them gets banned. Tian Lang stays in. Well, you know what? They have so much attack age reduction. Tian Lang, one of the few times Tian Lang is pointless now because so much strip, attack age reduction with Elowin. He gives himself additional turns, but he doesn't like increase his attack age for it. He just gives himself the additional turn regardless. Then he gets the Cyclone, decrease attack age as well. Like, these things are not giving himself additional turns. So as much as I absolutely love Tian Lang, and he is one of the most OP units in the entire game, this is one of those very rare situations where Tian Lang is basically nothing. He's like not really doing too much. We got the cleanse, right? We got the cleanse, but they only do immunity. That Light Howl only does immunity if his allies are at full HP. Otherwise, he won't do immunity. So it's really situational between him and Lulu. Lulu won't do immunity if it's cleanse harmful effects. It will do with skill 3. I mean, if the enemy doesn't have any harmful effects, if Lulu's team doesn't have any harmful effects, then he will get the immunity, or then they will get the immunity. But yeah, at this point, I think that's basically like the Tian Lang. Anything, Diana would have been a better choice here than Tian Lang. Diana would have been a potentially nasty thing here. Water Ryu would have been a potentially nasty thing here. Like the Tian Lang, it seems so crazy to say this, considering how brutal Tian Lang is and how Tian Lang will basically just get like whatever star level you are. If you're C1, you'll be G1 with Tian Lang. If you're G1 already, you'll be G3 with Tian Lang. Like, that's how OP he is. Like I said, against the G3 player with Tian Lang. But against this specific comp, Tian Lang really doesn't do much. So at this point, he is actually in G2, not even just G1. So he goes for the Art Master here. Opponent picks the Fire Bison against him, and a Leo last pick. So he bans the Leo. I feel like Zigbear actually has a very similar playstyle to how I like to play. Like, his logic is very... I think I'm maybe insulting Zigbear here. So the opponent did get the turn 1 with his Shear. His Shear is 115 base speed, so of course super fast, but did not have enough speed on the Ciara and the Fire Bison to really take full advantage of that, because Zigbear's team is not full immunity. So he could have really done some nasty stuff if he was if he was fast enough with that Fire Bison and the CR to take advantage of that, but he got cut in with both fire units and then got controlled. Last match of the day, opponent first picks a Lulu into a Chiwu, which is usually something that Zigbear has been picking. He goes Chiwu into a Nephthys and Tian Lang. So let's see, he bans the speed lead. So one of them gets the speed lead and the strip, but there's only the Tian Lang is not a swift strip, or Tian Lang is actually pretty fast. Okay, so Tian Lang didn't cut in there. He was just his skill 2 naturally did the strip and the stun and everything, right? So it wasn't quite about, like, Tian Lang is a nice counter to a lot of things in the current meta, especially in Special League where everyone's cleaving. But again, it's not like necessarily that it was a specific counter to this comp. Now he's got to worry about all this immunity. There's 2 units with immunity. Fortunately enough, it's only 1 turn immunity, but still that immunity is kind of nasty. Like if Lulu procs, she gets the second skill. Again, she did not get the proc, right? So now he's just got to try to control as much as possible, and hopefully he gets these additional turns with Elowin, and there we go. And that Elowin just won the game right there. He gets skill 2, he gets another turn, and then he had to entrap again. He had his skill 3 again, even though he had already used it earlier in the match. So anyway, that's it for this one. I just had to show these matches. Zigbear, like, there's just some people whose gameplay I just absolutely love, because it makes me feel like the comps that I would gravitate towards, like weird things. And Elowin and Celia, I really like I really like the Fire Fairy. I really like those fast control style of gameplay. So yeah, I definitely like the fact that he's using Elowin. He got to G2 using Elowin in 20-star Special League. This is what I was trying to tell you guys before. I'm like, guys, this Elowin, when he got buffed to do that entrap, the entrap buff, I was like, guys, this thing is OP. Please just listen to me for once, that the thing is actually very strong for a 3-star. Which this kind of just shows right there that he is very strong for a 3-star. This guy got to G2 using Elowin. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.